The South African Human Rights Commission's hearings into the deadly July unrest are continuing today, with another minister expected to testify. In fact, Justice and Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola will give evidence at the Commission, which is probing the causes of last year's violence and looting. Our senior reporter, Malungelo Booi, is in Sandton for us ahead of those proceedings and joins us now live. And of course, Malu, this follows some pretty damning evidence given this week from the Defence Forces side. In fact, General Rudzani Mapwanya, talking about the Defence Force in South Africa being wholly unprepared for what unfolded in those 8 days in July, and that they did not have intelligence.
That's right. In fact, what's interesting, Michelle, is that the Justice Minister also sits in that Justice and Crime Prevention and Security cluster. So one of the questions, I suppose, that he will have to answer to is whether how much really did they know. That's in terms of the security cluster, in terms of intelligence, really, that was given to them in relation to what we saw in July last year. As you already alluded to the fact that we've heard already from the former State Security Minister, now Public Administrations Minister, Newzroom Afrika, telling this commission that in fact there were intelligence reports that were given to the Security Cluster Minister. Remember, Michelle, that's despite though Police Minister Abeki Bela also telling this commission that the police really did not have any intelligence going into those unrest, and that they in fact relied on what they were seeing on social media posts into their response. Now, the Justice Minister is also likely to be asked as to whether was there actually any reports that were given to the security cluster. It's going to be interesting then to hear what he says. We've also heard, as you rightfully pointed out, from the South African National Defence Force chief actually saying that when they were deployed to deal with this unrest, initially they had to, deal with they were deployed into places of national key points, but then because the situation was getting worse, they actually had to go on the ground. In fact, there were about initially 2,500 Defence Force members that had been deployed, and that number, in fact, increased to about 22,000 because of the gravity of the situation. Michelle?
You talk about social media posts, Malungelo, and it brings to mind the testimony of eThekwini Mayor Mxolisi Kaunda. He was also on the stand at the Human Rights Commission, I believe it was this week. In fact, the Daily Maverick describing his time in the hot seat, shall we say, as quite self-assured. He apparently mentioned the word leader in reference to his own leadership more than 25 times while giving evidence. But the reason why I'm talking about social media posts in connection with Kaunda is that he described himself as an exemplary leader, and that's despite the fact that he had his own social media post at the time saying, quote, "We are Msholozi, Msholozi is us, hashtag free Zuma." What were some of the questions asked around what was going through his mind at the time?
In fact, Michelle, Mxolisi Kaunda spent most of the time in the witness stand here defending some of his posts. In fact, he used his own private account, not the one of the eThekwini municipality, saying that he used his accounts to call for calm. In fact, he's saying that he was showing leadership, but also he was asked about his relationship with former President Jacob Zuma. He's saying that he perceived former President Jacob Zuma as a mentor, because this is somebody who, even when Mxolisi Kaunda was still, in the ANC Youth League and also in the lower structures of the ANC, they would actually get, mentoring sessions from former President Jacob Zuma, and saying that he actually did not have a personal relationship with former President Jacob Zuma, saying that he respected him, and that he had concerns about his arrest, about his incarceration, that he was worried about his age, and also what his arrest would actually do to the people of KwaZulu-Natal or some of his supporters, because he was saying that he had to step up to the plate and show leadership and call for calm, because he could see that a lot of people in KwaZulu-Natal were not happy with what was happening to Jacob Zuma.
Malungelo, Booi, thanks very much indeed for that snapshot of what's unfolded this week at those Human Rights Commission's hearings. And of course, that process continues there today.